Hi there, my name is Dave. I am a trainer and support person here at infoodle. I've been with the company a couple of years and I'll be taking you through this session, infoodle in your pocket. This is going to be covering the infoodle app and what you can do with it. We'll be looking at some of the features, some of the use cases, and some of the ways that you can customize it so that it's nice and personal for your organization. So let's have a look. Alrighty, so what you're seeing on the side here is a virtual phone, so it's going to behave much like a real phone for the purposes of this training, and we've got our infoodle dashboard over here. The other thing we'll be using is the EasyStream dashboard, which is our app partner, which is kind of the engine that runs the infoodle app itself. So we've partnered with great Kiwi company to bring this app to you. So first things first, let's have a look at the app. So this app is free. You can download it. Anyone can download on the Android or Apple Store. Just search for infoodle and hit download. Then when you run it, it's going to take a moment to load all of the background stuff, and then it's going to ask you for your organization. Now, if you haven't set up the infoodle app yet, you can explore some of the other organizations around by just starting to type. Things are going to start popping up as you start typing letters. And these are the other customers of ours that are using the infoodle app. So while we're showing these, it highlights firstly that your app is a public facing app. So in this particular example, I've seen St. Paul's. If I click into there, we can see what St. Paul's is doing with their app. And we can see that they've started to customize it. They've got some private events there and so forth. So if I then go out and we'll just restart that again. So I'm just telling the infoodle app to pretend that it has just been installed, and I can look for our other app. So we're going to go to this demo app for now to have a look there. So it being a public facing app, you do have to have some considerations. You don't want to have any private events actually showing up there saying we are having a disciplinary meeting with one of our staff or something like that. That is going to be very embarrassing. So just a little bit of thought around that sort of thing. The intentions around the infoodle app was to have a very quick and a very watered down version of the main infoodle product in your hand, but customer facing, being able to show your community what sort of events are coming up, to get them to fill out some forms and update their details, to be able to look up other people's information that has been made public. There's some more advanced features where you can upload videos as well, or podcasts as well. And any sort of link on your website you can put into this app. Any sort of form that you're using from infoodle you can put on this app. You can take donations. You can do rostering from this app, which is super powerful for your community if you're handling that sort of stuff. You can have your Facebook or your Twitter or your Instagram linked straight into this as well, your newsletters and so forth. So very powerful, lots of things that you can do with it. And you can obviously change all of the colors so that it suits the branding of your organization. At its core, it's driving off the CRM, and there's a few changes in the CRM that you can make that will allow you to see certain things, like for instance these events. And then the rest of it is happening through this EasyStream dashboard. Now, please be aware that most of these changes that you're making will not be visible immediately on the app. You do need to close the app completely. So in this case, on Android, I'll swipe that away and then open it up again to see those changes. And the reason for that is because your app is caching or storing the last known settings so that the app can run a bit faster. The next person that opens up the app or downloads the app, they're going to see those changes immediately. But if you haven't closed your app, you're going to be seeing the same old stuff. So it's not that it's not working, it's just you need to refresh essentially. And that goes with even just changing the colors. So first things first, let's have a look at that. How do we customize colors on our infoodle app? So we've got these little blocks or panels, and these are the different features in infoodle for your app. Now, don't be alarmed if you don't have all of these. This is the demo sites that we've activated all the add-on packages. So if you scroll down to the bottom, you're going to see a number of packages and the cost per month that EasyStreams is charging for those to give you a bit of extra use out of them. So we're going to change the logos and colors though for now. You'll notice firstly your logo itself. So that's this logo up here. It's also the logo when you're searching for an app, it'll come up. Then we've got primary colors, secondary colors, tertiary colors, alternative menu colors, and alternative menu text color. So you'll already spot that the alternative menu text color is coming up over there. We can see this color over here for the menu itself. Then we've got our primary color, our tertiary color, etc. So you can see where these are all starting to show up, where we can see them. Okay. If we wanted to change this banner over here, we'll just close this window here. And this can be changed here with the app banner. Configure that. It's just going to ask you to upload the new image. Now it also recommends the size that you should be doing. So this is so that it will look best on every single phone that's out there. So if you can get it exactly at 2000 by 800 pixels, you're doing well. If it is smaller, that's fine. Do what you can, but the higher the quality, the better it's going to look on your app and the more optimized it will be. So if you wanted to change your image, if it exists already, you can just click on the image that's there and you can select what you want to use. If you don't have it there, then it'll have a button waiting for you to upload. Okay. Again, with all of these changes, make sure to restart your infoodle app. Just close it and restart it as you need. Something else you can do is reorganize where the buttons are. So that's all handled under Manage. And you'll see there is an app layout, and if I just make this a little bigger temporarily, app buttons over there. Okay. Also load up all the buttons you currently have access to and allow you to move them around. So we'll see we've got the events there, the media and the directory. So the events, media, directory. We wanted to move these around, we can just click and drag. Perhaps we want to encourage people going to our Facebook, so we'll move that to the top. So events, our directory isn't as important, we'll hide that one away. However, our rostering we do want made very, very easily accessible. So we'll submit that. It says success, great, I'll close this window. But now again, no changes have actually happened here. If I go in and out, nothing's happening. So I'll need to restart this app. Sensing a theme yet? Restart your app when you make the changes. And then the new changes are now here. So we see now events, our social, and our rostering. And the nice thing about the social button, since how we've got it there, is you can embed your Facebook or whatever it may be right inside the app. So you've still got all the control around your app itself, but you've got access to, in this case, Facebook right in here. Okay, very cool. You will also notice that there is a casting button here. So this is for when you're playing out audio, podcasts, or videos, you can actually cast it to any Chromecast capable device as well. Some of the other features that you get is infoodle tools. This is very, very powerful. Without logging into your app, you will have the public calendar and the live event manager. So live event manager being the feature in infoodle that allows you to see a run sheet of the day and see what's happening minute by minute, see where you're at for a particular event, see updates from whoever's running that event that says, hey, don't worry about this next section we're running behind time, skip that, etc. The public calendar is exactly what it sounds like. It's a calendar that has been made public for everyone to see. So we can see there's 100 private events, which is kind of counterintuitive here, so we'll need to fix that up. And we've got some staff meetings, which again, I'm surprised that that is a public event. So that's something we're going to want to fix. So how do we fix those? That's all in your CRM itself. So if we go to our events page, we'll see we've got these hundreds of reoccurring private events and we've got our staff meetings. So first things first, let's edit the series. And this setting over here, visible on the internet, that's essentially what's making it public. Now, it doesn't mean because this is set to yes, anyone on the internet will magically be seeing this event. They do have to have access to it in some way. For instance, like the infoodle app, or if you're embedding this calendar on your website. So it's not just someone could stumble across it necessarily. But in this case, we want to say no, because it is a private event, and that's going to update all of those. And then these staff meetings, we don't want those public either, so I'm going to set that to no as well. Okay. Now for our example, let's get some actual events. So maybe tomorrow night is a gingerbread house making workshop, right? We do want this public because we want to invite people along. It is for our youth specifically, so we can color code them. And just remember, this isn't relating to the app, but you can organize and change your color codes by clicking this little icon up here. Event status is confirmed in this case, and a bit of a description. Come have fun with your rascal youths making sweet, we'll add a couple of A's and a couple of U's, treats, because that's totally a treats. That's totally how the youth would spell that, right? And what date is it? So we're going to say it's tomorrow. That's fantastic. And what time is it going to start? So we'll say 6 p.m. and it's going to run till 7 p.m. Just a short one. Location. Now this is really important with your events, especially with your infoodle app. So we're going to say that it is at the cafeteria at Henry and Ted's. People involved, so this is who's responsible and any attendees. We'll leave that blank for this time around. Any questions relating to the location, also not applicable, and finance not applicable for showing you the app. So we're just going to save that. It's demanding that I answer that, so I'm just going to say no. And now we've got our gingerbread house making workshop. I'm going to restart the app. Great, and now you'll notice, oh no, we've still got our private events there. And if I go to our dedicated events section, it's just a whole bunch of private events. So this is another little gotcha that you just need to be aware of. Due to some restrictions with syncing abilities, this is not immediate, so it can take a couple of hours for this sort of data to sync across. You can try your luck on the dashboard to force a sync across. So there is this events button up here. And don't worry about that little thing that gets downloaded. Just click sync. And it says you've successfully sunk it. To get back to our main dashboard, you can just click on the logo and click on functions. Now let's try our luck again on here and see if that's worked. Now, as I say, sometimes you'll get lucky with this, sometimes you won't. It depends on what cycle the systems are running on at the time. So let's have a look. And in this case, we've gone completely blank. So it's still loading up some of that. However, we do have this week, the gingerbread house making workshop. Fantastic. If I click into that, we can see our little description there. We can also see the location, and you'll notice that this is actually zoomed all the way in here onto a Google Maps, and it allows us to get directions straight to it. So by clicking get directions, it's going to take us to the Google Maps. I haven't actually used Google Maps on this fake phone, so it's not going to work. But the point being is someone can be using their phone and find straight away where to get to that event. You can also add it to your calendar. So that's your personal calendar on your phone. It'll add it to whatever app that you're using to manage your calendar. So very, very powerful, very useful. There is a couple of gotchas around this as well. So we have had some people asking why their, for instance, their church, their church that's actually in Australia is coming up as a cemetery in Russia or things like that. Really strange. So that's because the address formatting isn't quite right, and Google's taking its best guess or just trying to pull your leg and put you in Russia somewhere. So how do we make sure this works? Go to locations, because that's where we're getting all this information. And in this case, we had this cafe, Henry and Ted. If I edit that, This is the public address. Now this should be the address that Google Maps suggests. So what we recommend is you head over to maps.google.com. So that's Google Maps. If you forget that URL, you can literally just type, you can literally just type maps and search for it, and it's the top link that Google will suggest. Now, if we zoom in here, or we try and type in Henry and Ted, firstly, let's make sure we found the right place. Yes, that is the right place. Great. So now if you just click up here, you'll notice it says Henry and Ted Golden Sands. So if I just click that again, we're still in the same location. Now this link here, if we just copy and paste it, that's the link that we should be using on our locations in the infoodle database, because then we can be 100% sure that Google is going to find the right address. Likewise, let's try just a random, well, let's try the infoodle offices, which is 5 Owens Place. Okay. So we want to use that address there, and that is where the infoodle offices are. Great. So I would copy that and I would update it in the public address. Cool. So just be aware of that. That's really important, and it's a very powerful tool for people to straight away see where is the action. So be aware of that. Cool. The other very cool things is the directory. So let's have a quick look at that. Now the directory allows you to access people's phone numbers, people's addresses, people's private information. That sounds terrifying, but don't worry. As you can see there, we are locking it behind a login. So you do have to have a login to the CRM to be able to access this, and the app will acknowledge us. So we'll log in. I happen to have one, so I'll log in with my details there. And now it's logging me in. You may get another pop-up, which I haven't in this case, that will ask you to confirm that you're happy for the infoodle CRM to link to the app. Just say yes to that and you'll be fine. So let's head back to our directory. This is that pop-up that I was saying. So please make sure that you're happy to do this. We are. And now it's allowing me to search for information. So if I just start typing here, there we go. So we're getting a few people, including Dan Carter. So I click in there, I can see Dan Carter's information. Fantastic. We can also, if we scroll down, we can add them to workflows, we can add notes, and we can get directions if we've got the address here. So adding notes is super great. We can add notes just like you would through the CRM, what type of note it is, color coded if you want to. Who is the note for? It's for Dan specifically. Who can see this note? So there's your privacy settings again. And what is the note? Dan is great. Okay. And then we can actually save that note. So very powerful. But now let's go to Dan's page and see why we could actually see all of that information, because that was a lot of information on Dan. So firstly is the roles. So let's check the roles here. I'm a basic admin. So if I check here members, there I am there. And if we look at my settings, I can search people. I can't create new accounts and roles, but I can do a lot of this stuff. I'm not restricted to the online directory. So this setting here is magic. If you are wanting people to be locked down to what they can see, as this is particularly useful for churches that have an online directory where people do share their phone numbers, but also for people like lifeguards that wants certain phone numbers, key people, to have that information available. Different clubs, same thing. Certain key people or key locations, key information, we want that public. But we don't want to make the rest of the database public. That's a terrible plan. So setting online directory is critical here. That will restrict what you can actually see. So if I head over to Dan Carter, let's have a look at what it's following there. So you'll see here we've got this visible and private. Dan Carter's account as a whole is set to private right now. If I just add some phone numbers in here quickly, and some email addresses. That's now both private as well. If I made one visible, and we'll just save that. And actually, let's make Dan visible as well, because if he's not visible, then I'm not going to see that information no matter what. I'm going to head back to my role. I'm going to just edit that again, and let's do some restricting. And we'll save that. Now, again, I'm going to restart my app. Give it a moment to breathe. And here we go. That's all logged in. So let's head back to our directory and search for our friend Dan Carter. Great. So now I'm seeing a lot less information. I'm seeing a phone number, and I'm seeing a phone number. Just one phone number. No emails, no nothing else, just a phone number. If I try and see who else is in the family, I do see that information, and that's because they are currently set to visible. But I don't see anything beyond that point. So very, very important is making sure that your privacy settings are set up correctly, especially if you're going to be giving public access to the directory like this. Alrighty, other things to note is the rosters. So if you are wanting to review what you are currently rostered in for, currently I'm not rostered on for anything, but if I was, I'd be able to see my roster here. I'd be able to accept my positions or decline them if I'm not available, and so forth. I can also set if I'm away or what my status is, so that the people managing the rosters know about it. So that's really, really powerful and important as well. And then finally, these links. So how do we set up these links? That's all through these little speech bubbles. So you'll notice that the icons are matching. The web embeds are links that are shown inside of your app. There are also these external links which take you outside of the app to your phone's browser. So if you are wanting that option, you've got that. But the app web embeds are very, very powerful and keep it all branded nicely. So there's actually quite a few of them. There's 1, 2, this one that says blog is actually the same thing, 3. And then we've also got the infoodle forms, which comes up as form embed. This is actually the same thing. So you'll see that we've got a button name and a URL. And with this app web embed, button name and a URL. To just make it a little more easy to organize, that we've broken it up and specifically said form embed, blog, app web embed. So we've given it some titles so that you can actually find them a bit easier and a bit quicker. But essentially they're all the same tools. So if we wanted to have 4 forms, we could. If we wanted to have 4 links to our website, we could. And all it is saying, let's do CNN updates. Okay, for some reason we're interested in CNN. I will just go to CNN quickly on my browser, and if I go there, let's have a look. Yep, that's a CNN page with some terrifying news, and we go back to here and we can paste that in there. Now we've got that link. I'm going to submit it. Again, I'm going to refresh this. While that's loading, I'm just going to get another one here. So this one says Bible, so someone's using it for their Bible. We'll keep that one in there. That's always helpful. And our blog, that's useful as well. And our form embed. So we're going to keep those as well. And that's taking us to a donation form, an infoodle donation form in this case. So let's have a look at our handiwork. So we've got CNN updates there now. And if I click that, you'll notice that same page that we just went to is going to load in an app format over here. There you go, all embedded inside of your infoodle app as if it's infoodle itself. Likewise, in the infoodle form, we can have a look at that, but we're not currently seeing it on this list. So let's have a look what's going on there. When I go config, we'll see that it says hide this button, and that's actually turned on. So let's turn it off again. Or sorry, enable it essentially. So disable the hiding feature. Bit confusing with the terminology there, the direction. And now let's have a look there. We've got that donations right there. We're going into that and we're going to see that infoodle form load up just like you would see as per usual. And someone can make their donations straight from your infoodle app right there and then. Nice and easy. Cool. The only other housekeeping things we'd point out is things like the contact us. So making sure that you've got a contact us button, some general information. And where they see that is right at the bottom there, contact us. And that's going to give general information. It's going to pull up your information as well from the CRM. And people can navigate again to you. Cool. Very quickly, some of the other highlights. Again, you can get YouTube streaming if you wanted to. You can do a basic video package, which allows you a few minute length videos. We've also got a max video package, which allows you to do full length hour, 2 hour long videos. There's the audio and podcast, which is purely audio based. Contact upgrades for more links and all sorts of things like that. So have a bit of a play, see what you think. If you're wanting some more ideas, get in touch with us. Send us an email at support@infoodle.com.